Welcome to part 3 of the series of completing a floral earring. Today we're going to be using Leaf Puncher 1. I rolled the clay out to the 7 setting on my Atlas 150. It's my favorite setting for florals. Sometimes I do change it up depending on the look that I'm going for. And I placed the green clay on the tile, used my finger to smooth it out, make sure there's no air pockets, and now I am dipping the leaf puncher into the arrowroot powder and pushing the puncher through the clay until it gets to the tile. I give it a slight wiggle and then lift it straight up off the tile. Now I'm just using my fingers to lift some of the larger and smaller leaves off the tile onto the pad. I'm kind of rolling them in between my fingers to kind of roll some of the edges into the leaf, and we're going to be pressing them as well. If we use an X-Acto knife to lift the leaves off the tile plate, we get a cleaner look, but because of the method we're going to use to press these out, we just use our fingers. I have taken a medium ball tool and I am going to press each leaf out on each side. So from the middle of the leaf going towards one end, I'm pushing the ball tool to smooth it out, then starting in the center again and pushing in the opposite direction to fully press out the leaf. Now it's time to start adding leaves to our beautiful creation. So I'm going to start with the larger leaves, and I can always layer in the smaller leaves on top. So I am going to just continue placing them where I feel like they symmetrically fit, where they're just going to add a fullness and just add more of that bouquet finished look. I sped these next few shots up a little bit as I figure out the placement that I want for the leaves. You'll notice I'll fluff them a little bit and move them around with my modeling tool, which I find extremely helpful. This is one of my favorite tools for florals. So now we zoom in a bit and you get to see real-time placement of the leaves. Now I'm just trying to mirror what I done on the right side with the left side. Now we're going to go into using the same leaf puncher but with a lighter sage color. I use the same exact method to cut the leaves out, and now I'm going to roll them. Not only am I rolling them from end to end, but I'm also rolling them sideways as well, just to widen the leaves a bit to give them a slightly different look. And you'll notice these ones are a little bit organic looking. I'm totally fine if they're not completely straight. Adding leaves and foliage is a preference. I will just continue to add them until I feel like there's a perfect amount of dark green and sage green leaves until everything looks balanced. If I ever see clay that's just kind of needs to be touched up, I will take my modeling tool you'll see with this leaf and I'll kind of just tap it to carefully get rid of the imperfection. This next part is just a preference. You could completely leave the style like this and it would be beautiful. I decided that I wanted to add some gold flakes to the center of the flower. So I shook my little container because when I open it, they seem to go everywhere, and I swear I find them for weeks in like the silliest places. So I just shook the container to get some of them to fall out, and then I am using Bacon Bond at the center of those flowers, and then I'm going to individually place each gold flake in the middle of the flower. And it's really important to ensure when you're adding little things like pearls, gold flakes, or like those little metal beads in the center of the flowers that you are actually adhering that little piece to the Bacon Bond. So I just make sure when I press them in that they are pushing into the clay, pushing into the Bacon Bond or the liquid Sculpey or whatever you're using to make sure it actually adheres. So when you go to take it out of the oven and you turn it upside down or someone's using it, that nothing comes apart or falls out. And here's the finished look. They are all ready to be baked. Thank you so much for watching this 3-part series. Let me know if you have any questions at all based off anything we went over. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will make more.